Good morning, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jamie, and that means that you missed my first vlog of Ireland. So go back and watch that. I'm in Belfast, Northern Ireland today, and I'm headed on a tour of Giant's Causeway. So you can take a bus tour from Belfast to Giant's Causeway, and this includes some stops along the way. They're actually in Game of Thrones. So I'm so excited for today. The weather right now does not look its best. It's around 55 degrees and it looks like it's raining outside, but it's fine. I packed accordingly for this trip. I've got some hiking pants on, a thin wool base layer, and then I'm going to take a sweater and my raincoat. So hopefully I won't have any issues, but it is 7:30 right now. I'm going to walk towards the pickup location and hopefully find a coffee shop on the way. But let's go have an amazing day on this tour. This rock formation resembles the side profile of a giant laying on its back. Do you see it? It is said to have inspired Jonathan Swift to create the sleeping giant in his classic novel Gulliver's Travels. Okay, so our first stop today is at Carrickfergus Castle. And they have these cute little, if you can see behind me, little trucks for coffee, snacks, tea, whatever you would like to try. So of course I got a pistachio latte, and now I'm gonna just take a walk around the castle and get some information on the history behind the Carrickfergus Castle. This castle is one of the best preserved medieval castles in Ireland. Built more than 800 years ago, it has stood watch over Belfast through sieges, battles, and centuries of history. As you explore the grounds, you'll see the old passageways and railway that was once used to transport supplies, including coal and other goods, between the harbor and the castle. Just outside, the harbor and pier have welcomed ships for generations, and in 1690, King William III famously landed here on his way to the Battle of the Boyne. It's an impressive place where medieval history meets the beautiful Northern Ireland coastline. So just a little bit of information if you do decide to take this tour. I am on the McCombs coach tour. My tour guide is Ray. He is super friendly. I think it's really going to be fun with him today. This is our first stop. It's about 20 minutes from the pickup. And then there are no restrooms on the bus. However, our stop in about an hour does have restrooms. So it is recommended to take your restroom break then, because there was a pretty good line when I got to line up for the bus. Everyone's concern was coffee, so they're like, when's our first coffee stop? And it is here. So if you can wait, if you get in line late and you can wait, you can get coffee in about 20 minutes, and it's really good.
Whisky hotel in Ireland. That's what they turned it into, a whisky hotel. That's it to your left, built by the Marchioness of Derry, 1848, once owned by Sir Winston Churchill. Now you see it, they've given it a rough coat paint on it last year. That was all covered in ivy. It looked better with the only ivy on it. It's a bit rough looking now when they just put the paint on it. There you are. It opened about 10 months just last year there sometime in middle of last year. So there you are.
Welcome to the picturesque village of Carnlough.
a charming harbour town nestled along Northern Ireland's Causeway Coastal Route. Surrounded by rolling hills and the waters of Carnlough Bay, this peaceful fishing harbour has welcomed boats for generations and is one of those places that perfectly captures the slower pace of coastal life. It's a great spot to stretch your legs, enjoy the scenery, and take in the colorful boats and stone harbor walls that have become a local landmark. Now, fans of Game of Thrones may recognize this location as the place where Arya Stark crawls from the water after escaping the waif in Bravos. With a little movie magic, this quiet harbor became part of one of the series' most memorable scenes.
Here we are at the three little caves now. This is the first one where the blacksmith works in. They've just in there. Now as we pass it slowly, the next one's where Anne Murray lives. And Anne died in here in 1848, so 100 years old. Very sad when you see things like that, how people had to live and survive. And the last cave coming up is a little plaque outside this one, dedicated to the little children right there who were taught to read and write within this cave. Now there were lots of these schools all around Northern Ireland way back at that time, unlicensed schools, taught by
So right here are flowers, but they're actually weeds, and you can see the bugs flying on them as well. They're full of thorns. So if you ever got stuck in one of those, it would not be a good day for you. And he said that the only animals that eat those are donkeys. So I guess that doesn't bother them, but they're absolutely beautiful though. But we are making a stop at the Ropebridge. We of course cannot walk down to the bridge, but you can see it, and you can see people walking over it, and it looks pretty scary. There was a couple going through it. Even from here you can see how slow they were walking through and holding on to the bridge itself. But it looks like a cool experience, but also scary. So we are here for only like 15 minutes, and then we get back on the bus and head to lunch. We now have been on the bus for about 3 hours, a little over 3 hours, and it is an amazing experience. Like, I 100% recommend. I have no regrets. I have no issues with the bus tour. The tour guide is hilarious, and he has such a great attitude and has so much to say. I can't imagine memorizing the script that he has to talk through the entire way that he's driving, and to still be alert through the crazy roads of Ireland. But I definitely recommend this tour. It has been great so far, and after lunch we will be at Giant's Causeway. There is a visitor center, and I did take a video of it, but if you walk through this tunnel, this is the way that you go to Giant's Causeway. Our tour guide said it's about 1 kilometer walk down, so about 20 minutes, and then it's back uphill, so about 25-minute walk back. We have approximately 2 hours here, so let's do some exploring. as you just saw, you actually can take a bus down for £1 and £1 back up as well, and it will take you down to the Giant's Causeway and back up this walk. Depending on time, you might want to take advantage of that if you don't have much time here, or if you're running late and the bus is about to leave and you need to catch the bus. So we'll see if I take advantage of that and see how long I stay down here. The weather is a little chilly and windy, but it's still very nice. It is cloudy today, but maybe we'll see some sun while we're here. Okay, so the tour guide explained that these are volcanic rock formations that formed over 40 million years ago. And you know, there is a tale of giants competing with one another, and that's how the rock formations were formed. But of course, you can believe whichever story you want to believe. I'm going to try to walk through here, so fingers crossed things go well, because he said that some of the rocks may be slippery, but everybody's kind of sitting up on top. So I am headed to get closer to the water. I can't remember if I mentioned this, but the tour guide said that there are over 40,000 of these rock formations. This is insane to be here right now in person. I've seen so many videos about this place. It's crazy to think this volcanic rock, because it's so even and smooth. The waves here today are crazy, so let's get a little bit closer to the water. Okay, so this was an amazing experience. You know, we always wish we had more time. The only way you can have more time here is if you just drive it yourself, which I didn't want to do that a day after I arrived here and stress about driving on the other side of the road. So I'm so glad that I did the tour though. It is beautiful out here. Look at that. Look at this. It is amazing. Perfect weather too. I don't like to be hot, so I'm glad that it is. Feels like it's probably still in the 50s. But I'm headed back to the bus now. I can't get over it. There are people that climbed, let me show y'all. It climbed across that ridge all the way over to those peaks. I can see them over there. That's insane. But it is pretty crowded here. They're steadily coming in. There are tour buses everywhere. At the rope stop, we were almost blocked in. We had to ride on the curb to get out of there. It's very busy. But this is so cool. I cannot believe this is volcanic rock. I've already said that. But it is crazy. I wonder how cold the water is. It's pretty cold probably. I could feel it coming, like splashing up on me. At one point, the lady screamed down at me that the tide was coming in, so I had to get back away from the water. I can see why millions of people visit here. The visitor center is £18 to walk in, just to walk in. If you wanted to go to the gift shop, buy coffee, buy tea, a drink, anything, you have to pay £18. And what that gets you is a self-guided audible tour. So our tour guide was saying, well, that should be optional. Like if you don't want to do the tour, then you shouldn't have to pay £18 just to go into the building. And I totally agree with that. Like the Causeway is free. And if you want to do the audible tour, then pay the £18. But if you want to get a souvenir like me, like a magnet or a sticker or a coffee mug or whatever, you have to pay £18 plus the cost of the souvenir, which is crazy to me. So he was saying that it's just wrong that they do that and that they're charging that. So I will not be entering the visitor center. If you've been in there, let me know if it's good and if it's worth it, but I'm not doing the audible, so I'm not going to pay to go get a magnet. But anyways, all right, I'm continuing back. I have like 30 minutes to get back. And the bus just left, so I've got to walk it. The layers have come off. My jacket is off, my sweater is off. I just have this wool like base layer on. It gets hot quick.
Now, as we make our way up to Dundas Castle, this is one of the most photographed castles on the north coast of Ireland. And the reason being is, you see, hundreds and hundreds of people have their wedding photographs taken inside the castle grounds.
So we have just pulled up to our second to last stop on the tour. We are at Bushmills Distillery. It is actually the oldest distillery in the world. It was opened in 1608. If you care to, there is a bar where you can try some of the whiskey options. I'm not going to partake in any of that. There is a souvenir shop on site as well and free restrooms. So we're here for 30 minutes and then we are headed to the Dark Hedges. That was our last stop on the Giant's Causeway tour from Belfast, the Dark Hedges. The tour guide did say that the leaves just popped up a couple of weeks ago, so I'm sure it looks quite different when it's the bare bark. And I think that's the majority of the pictures that you see of the Dark Hedges, but it was still beautiful. So now we are headed back to Belfast. I've got to hurry because I'm almost late for the bus though. So let's go. Wow, today was a long day. I just got back to my hotel. It's around 6 p.m. and I just finished the Giant's Causeway tour from Belfast. Today was such an amazing day. The bus driver, Ray, was perfect. He did such a good job, and I had a conversation with him because to memorize all the information that he shared with us had to have taken forever. He said that he's been working with a company for about 10 years, but he actually, like when he got the job, 2 days later, he started his route. And they don't give you a script or anything to follow, which I thought that every bus driver would have the same script, but he said he wrote all of that himself. He went to the library, did research so that he knew what to say along the way, and that it was actually easier to do it that way because it was his own words, so he was able to memorize it better. It was an amazing job. So I definitely recommend Maccomb's travel coach for the tour to Giant's Causeway if you are in Belfast. It was such a great day. The weather was perfect, actually. I checked the forecast last night and the chance of rain was pretty low. It did rain on us a little along the way, but never when we were outside the bus. So it was absolutely fantastic. It was a little chilly at Giant's Causeway and windy, but I think that's just a part of it because you're right by the water. If you've ever done this tour, let me know in the comment section. Also, let me know if you think this is the best way to see the causeway or if it's better to rent a car and drive it. With me getting here yesterday, I just didn't want the stress of having to drive that route and have to learn all of that in just one day. Doing a bus tour allowed me to just relax, and then him controlled the timing of everything. Thank y'all so much for coming along with me today. Like I mentioned before, if you missed my first video of Belfast, go back, make sure that you check that out. I will also link the video in the description below. This is just day 2. Tomorrow I head to Dublin, so make sure that you are subscribed so that you don't miss out on the many adventures that we will go through in Ireland. And if you don't mind, if you'll just take a second to like this video, it really helps this channel grow. So I really appreciate the support. But until next time, I will see you guys then.